LD3. Der Deutsche, the Old World Patreon.
Hello everyone, to this video. In the first part of the video I will show you the games that are already been played in the current WTC Grand Tournament, and after that I will add the live stream where I went through all the lists and discuss the lists a little bit. I hope you can get some good insights about the current meta and how the list building in 1.5.2 has changed, and of course what the challenges are that you have to prepare for. At the moment I record this video, we are right in round 2. This means this is the result after round 1, and the stats I will present you now are in the middle of round 2, so it of course does not represent the full tournament and it does not represent the full player field. The numbers are of course now a bit tweaked by those people who already get their second game in. For your information, the first 2 rounds use strategic locations 2, special feature, and then strategic locations 3, so it was shifted by 90 degrees. And the result we can see here is that the Beastman won most of the matches, very high win rate. Cathay did exceptionally well with the Jade Fleet. The normal Cathay did not so good, but also lost the mirror matches and against the Wild Herd and all the other factions. I think, yeah, they rank in depending mostly on player skill behind those things. What is great to see is that also the vampire counts only win around 45% of the games, given that Beastman and the Grand Cathay both had favorable matchups against them, and you will see later in the lists maybe why this has changed. Alright, let's go. So we have 47 people here. As you can see, we have a lot of vampires, we have a lot of Bretonnia, we have some high elves. What the fuck, Necro bring high elves, interesting. A few orc players and a lot of Cathay, a lot of beastmen. So there is nothing extraordinary. I think this is yeah, what most expected. Hello Annie. And yeah, I will go through the players now. So first player would be me. 3 shamans is the most important thing to check for legality for WTC. Yes, I bring primal magic. I want to test it. It has some nice synergies against very specific lists, and I want to see if I can roll the fight in extra rank for some decisive matchups where I think this can make a difference. But to be honest, yeah, a second Demology Mage is maybe the better safe call here. I also feel not that confident with only 3 levels in Elementalism and no Monster Hunter's Tapestry. This is another thing that you could do or you could think about, and I guess the rest is pretty standard. Only 1 unit of Harpies, sadly. So one could indeed cut the 14 Angors, push the Gors a little bit more, and add 5 more Harpies. Yeah, whatever, it's a legal list. And it's not, yeah, it's nothing new basically, it's just another small update, or it's more than a side crate to the WTC list. Rolandas, here plays Cathay. Very interesting here. Strategist with the Ring of Jet, Strategist with the Ruby Ring of Ruin, Golden Line on Jade Warriors, 3 bricks of Jade Warriors, holy moly. We do not see a more shot here. 2 Sky Lanterns with Crane Guns, and yeah, that's exactly what I'm expecting right now, that people bring the Crane Guns out on Sky Lanterns. Just not as characters maybe. Not necessarily needed here because you have the range and you put forward your Shogungan Lords, so there's a lot of pressure there. And yeah, this makes sense, and this also looks legal. Perfect. Isaac, Arakia, what does he bring here? Oh my god, another Cathay. 3 Shogungans, so the list is most likely legal. Oh, nice. We see here a Jade Fleet on combat with 2 Captains of the Empire on a Griffin. I think he's only allowed to ride the small Griffins or only Monstrous Creature, but Ryan already proved to Qatar that the list is viable. We have 2 cheap Shogungan generals. with some minor equipment and a Lord Magistrate. Still iron hail guns and dragon fire bombs, and a big Shugen gun wherever it shows light and heavy armor with illusion as usual. Oh, only Learn Feng Shibo is the +1, right? So only 4 spells here randoming. Interesting. And we do have the Jade Banner and the War Banner. Okay, there's a lot of static combat rest, but once again, no more shot here. Especially if you bring like 5 monsters and the Chariot. Interesting choice for sure, but it's legal. Stefan Tighthead, German tournament player. Of course, he rolls out the Night Goblins. Let's see. Level 3 War, level 3 War. Okay, I would play Illusion, I think. Awkward Knob, Elementalism, Staff of Badoom. Yeah, well, with Staff of Badoom, of course, you can cast pretty well, I guess. Level 1 with Illusion. Staff of Quietude. This is the one that dispels the remains in place spells, right? It's the first time I see this one. Interesting. Spider Banner, Ruby Ring of Ruin on a BSB. No one plays Armor of Morg nowadays on the Goblin Big Boss on the BSB. I like that a lot. Maybe I'm wrong. Monster Hunter's Tapestry on 45 Night Goblins with Shortbow. Alright, 2 times 30 Night Goblins. And yeah, the Monster Hunter's Tapestry, as you could see in the list before, the Shogungians don't have stomp attacks. They have impact hits, they have Doppelganger, but they do not have stomps actually. So I would actually always bring Magic Resistance 2 in form of the Armor of Morg. So the big boss, because also of the new fighting rank rules, will be hit easier. This means if you give him just a 3-up armor save with parry and a 5-up ward save at least once with a charmed shield, you are pretty fine against the standard attacks he gets. You know, just the models in the base contact, maybe a few normal attacks. So yeah, 3 units of Night Goblins, Hoppers, Doom Diver, Catapults, and Mangler's Quicks. This is a pretty standard list, besides for this one here, the 2 War Magic guys. Yeah, but it's legal. Let's see how the War Magic performs. Shane, Bretonnia Exiles, 2 Bombers, 5 Pegasus Knights, 3 units Bowman, 2 units Mounted Yeoman. Yeah, that's pretty standard for evasion. I guess the Knights, they do have... Oh, interesting. The Exiles were on the Knights. I expected here to have the Knights were, so they can give past their leadership. The Outcast, level 3 Dark Magic Power Scroll Law Familiar. Makes sense, I guess. Magic Banner, Lodestones, Impetus Knight, yeah, the classic Support Paladin, a Baron with Temper, and Frontier Axe as usual, and the Green Knight. I guess this list is pretty solid, and this list is legal. Yeah, by the way, this is the Bretonnia Exiles evasion path. It's not that bad. There's a lot of shots from bows. It has the Pegasus Knights, it has 2 cannons. It's basically, yeah, similar to like a fusion between Nuln and Wood Elves, and I rate that build a lot. I guess it's okay. We'll see how it performs. Zerjay, what does he bring here? We have 2 Tomb Banshees, 2 Master Necromancers, level 4 on a Mortis as a general. Interesting. Mortis general is always like a two-bladed sword, as we say in Germany. Because your opponent can both shoot him pretty well with his cannons and also can use the Mortis Engine buff pretty far. But okay, Scepter and Talisman, normal. Tome of Spellcraft, interesting choice, very interesting choice on the Necromancy Wizard here. No Skull Staff instead of Tome of Spellcraft. Oh, and the Arc Lightning Rock. Haven't seen that yet in Vampires, but I guess it makes some sense. You can reroll the leadership of 8. That sounds great. I have to check if it only affects the opponent. Yeah, it does only affect the opponent troops, so pretty nice. This is one of the staple items. I think in almost all of my lists lately, I used that thing. It's like Falconhorn. Even it's one use only, the current meta is full of flying stuff, so it's of course important to have that. Helm of Command and White Lord with Monster Hunter's Tapestry. Yep, 135 points, that's pretty solid. And of course the Graveguard with the Drakenov banner. 2 times Zombies, 2 times Fellbats, 2 times Hexwraiths. This looks pretty much, maybe besides for the Wraith, you can use that and the Tome of Spellcraft to, I don't know, maybe use more Hexwraiths or something like that. But this is pretty much the standard we will see from the vampire counts. And it is, of course, legal. Question from Spain. What does he bring? We do not see a Mortis here. We do see a Mortis here. Yeah. On the level 2 Necromancy guy, also plus spell. It's okay. So the White Lord is pretty cheap to be able to do that. Yep. 105 points. No equipment at all. Only the Helm of Commandment. Scepter is there. And for the remaining guys, only Law Familiar and Spell Familiar. We have Dark Magic there. Okay, that's doable. Drakenhof on a Graveguard, 8 Hexwraiths and a Terrorgheist. I like that build. I like Hexwraith and the Terrorgheist. It's flexible, it's quite cool. We will see how good it fares in the tournament. More vampires here with Arvid. Yes. Okay, what does Okay, I see. I just had a talk with Arvid. We are driving together to the Lille tournament, and I asked him if he wants to test the Hand of Dust Illusion Acolyte, which Locked and Denarius also talked a lot about. And he indeed brings him here, level 3 Dark Magic, Lore Familiar, dude on the Mortis engine to buff the Graveguard, level 4 Necromancy, Spell Familiar. As usual, Drakenhof, Helm of Commandment, everything as normal. No Monster Hunters Tapestry on the White Lord here. Yeah, well, why is that? Not enough points because of the Hand of Dust, I guess. And he wants to bring, this is interesting, SpiritHosts. Arvid rocks the SpiritHost. He has wonderful models painted. I expected him not necessarily to bring these in the online tournament as well, mostly because he has the models in real life. Maybe he just wants to play the same list, or he rates the SpiritHosts really high here. I mean, they're a good wound sink, right? A lot of wounds, but yeah, we will see what Beastmen do to this type of list. DerZonk, he brings also vampire counts, also 2 necromancers here. Yeah, this is pretty standard, right? Here is the Monster Hunters Tapestry, wonderful. Dark Magic, Necromancy, similar build to that what Arvid did, but with the difference that we do not see the level 1 here with Illusion. Instead, we see the Monster Hunters Tapestry. Oh, and this one is cool. This is damn cool. We see Skeleton Warrior Prick, wonderful. Very cool. Therefore, of course, we have a lot of core points here. WTC has a lot of scoring points, up to 1,500 per game. So I think Andreas wants to lean into that. And there are also some Hexwraiths for offense. Cool. Let's see Cedric's list. Beastman Brayheart. Cedric often plays a little bit different than I do, and he brings in another time the build where he has multiple Wargors with heavy armor and shield and great weapon. I love to have a charm shield there, but I guess it was not possible from points. The BSB is pretty cheap. Slugskin, War Banner, that's it. Charm shield. And the Gors have the Banner of Swirling Mind. I am missing here some more offensive banners, but it makes a little bit of sense because he wants actually to be a little bit more defensive. He doesn't have a Beast Lord. He has 2 Great Bray Shamans, Elementalism on both. Interesting. So we do not have the Demology power here, and that list is more of an evasion list. This makes sense that the Scourge is on the Great Bray Shaman then. What I don't understand is why the Gors are then so big, because it is actually harder to evade with such a big Gore Brick. And I feel like this type of Gore Brick, yeah, maybe the Wargors do more than I think of them, or I expect from them, but I feel that the Gors there are a little bit too big, and I would rather bring more Harpies, more Angors. But interesting build. We will see how it works. 3 Shamans, 3 times the fighter character, so that's legal. Ortwin, what did you brew? We do have Borlock, 2 Scepters, Runesmith, Dane, 18 Rangers, 24 Thunderers, a lot of Gyrocopters, not that many Gyrocopters actually, single Gyrocopter units. That is interesting. So 2 bricks, similar to the list he fielded in the German comp tournament. I think there was, the bricks both were 30 big, and there was of course only 4 units or 3 units of gyros and 2 Doomseekers, which are not characters anymore and can get picked off by ruby rings and similar stuff. Okay, interesting build. The steam guns, I like the steam guns. I also like the single gyrocopters, but I miss a little bit the firepower here. We'll see how this one works out, right? Oh, let me just put new, yes, ongoing, and we're back. Boris, what did you bring? Beast Lord, classic Beast Lord, Bray Shaman with elementalism here on the second one with the Jack Dagger. I think this one here is the Bray Shaman where you can basically yeah, bring a little bit of your signature style in how you want to play the list in detail. We see the power scroll on the demonology guy, which is always good, I think. I rarely have the points for that. We do have Blood of the Shadowgrave here. This is, in my opinion, oh, wait, did I insert a right list with the Blood of Shadowgrave in? Yes, okay, whew, thank God. Yeah, this one here is fine because with the Blood of Shadowgrave it's an auto dispel, and you can basically dispel Glittering Robe, you can dispel a Battle Lust, you can dispel a Fly spell when your opponent tries to evade, you can dispel a Doppelganger against your Beast Lord in the challenge. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with that one, and I would love to bring even 2, but I guess the points are scarce anyway. Yeah, wonderful, this works. 3 shamans here, and the Wargore, Vitriolic, Bell of the Dark Young. This one is classic, I like him like this. And on the Gores, the Beast Banner. Very similar to my list, as you can see. And this has a reason, because Boris and I talked a little bit about the Beastman over the last few days for the next tournament. And yeah, his initial list was very similar to this one here. We basically just tweaked it. We added the Blood of the Shadowgrave in. I think we didn't change much else. So yeah, it's again one of the variations of the classic Beastman list. TJ also was Beastman. He played the Beastman in the last tournaments pretty different with more bricks, and he goes away from that. We have one big core brick, 50 guys, Vitriolic Totem, this makes sense. The BSB has no banner. Okay, same thing here. We do have the Chalice, we don't have the Blood of the Shadowgrave, and we have Slugskin on the Beast Lord. This means we also see the Pal of the Midnight here with a -1 to hit, 2 times 5 Harpies, so this is the more classic variant of the list, without the blood, with the 168 BSB and 2 times 5 Harpies. But I like this list also, it's a pretty good list. The one Razor Gore is sometimes nice, sometimes it's not needed. Get picked up pretty fast. You could also think of bringing even more Gores there. Let's see, did I remember to put in the Chalice? Oh, I have it. Okay, cool. Yep, perfect. Dimitro, what does he play? Vampires. Let's see. General Flayed Hauberk is interesting. Very defensive here. Flayed Hauberk and Cloak of Mist and Shadows. Someone is afeared of magic missiles and similar things. We do have a Master Necromancer on a Mortis. Yeah, I guess that is pretty standard. Ruby Ring's cool here. 2 Tomb Banshees and the White Lord as a Battle Standard Bearer. Yeah, I rate the Jump Shield over the Great Weapon here, but yeah, points would have been there. However, 3 times 25 zombies with a Standard Bearer and a Musician. These are points you can get actually 3 Fellbats for. And this is what I would have done. So just naked 20 zombies and 3 Fellbats. But yeah, the Hexwraiths may be a little bit too big, but this also means they can preserve their points pretty well. I have the feeling that 6 Hexwraiths die pretty fast, 7 or 8 die sometimes, and 10 will almost never die from one barrage. So you can get them back. But of course, he only has 1 offensive unit instead of 2 offensive units, which can make quite a big difference. Locked, I guess, more vampires, and as you can see, we have tons of beastmen, we have tons of vampires here. They are indeed shaping the meta, at least for right now. Yep. Level 2 Dark Magic Power Scroll, low familiar, level 2 on a Mortis engine. this is craziness, because this means we do not have 2 Master Necromancers, we only have 1 Master Necromancer. Spell Familiar, and also the Tome of Spellcraft here. Nice to see. Which I guess, given the complexities of the Necromancy lore, makes sense. So Tome of Spellcraft on a level 3, level 4 wizard, even with plus to cast modifiers, is of course a very, very secure caster. He can bring crucial spells through pretty good. So I like that. In my Orc Laser Show list, I also had all the reroll items on level 2s. Even there it becomes somewhat reliable for the 9+ spells. So that's good. That's just good. Earthing Rod, Power Scroll on level 2. Yeah, Chris rates reliability very high, and this all makes sense. This also means that his lists are less bursty quite often, but we see only 24 Graveguard here, which is a little bit more riskier than usual. Where I feel secure with like 27, 28, but I guess if 24 will fall, then 28 will fall as well, right? Monster Hunter's Tapestry on the White Lord is a little push if we face some Chaos list or wins that matchup, and we do have 2x8 Hexwraith. I'm not sure this looks like without champion. I learned that you always want to have a champion here, but I do not know where to take the points from, and both zombie units also has standard bearers. Interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting, because Locked so far didn't play the Hexwraiths very often. Okay, then we have Andre's list. Let's see what we do have here. Bretonnia with the Duke. Oh, Hyppogriff. This is wild. Wild of Heroism, Hyppogriff, Regeneration, and the Healing Potion. So we have a tank here, but not Unbreakable, instead with the Monster Slayer. We have the Lady Elise Duha. Okay, makes sense. Paladin, Virtue of Duty. He can't join units, right? With the Virtue of Duty. So I guess that's most likely a mistake here. Yep. I'm not sure if Entry knew this. This is of course, I mean, even he has all the support items. He has the Errantry Banner, +1 strength, he has 2 Obsidian Lodestones. This obviously should go into the Pegasus. I'm not sure if this is a misclick. I will have to talk to him and reach out. Okay, Paladin, Lance Shield, Crusader Bow, 1 more on a horse. Why not? 2 times the Errands, 3 times Squires, and 5 Pegasus. Yeah, except for this one here. And for the Hippogriff list, this is pretty normal. Hippogriff could be cool. And yeah, this one here, I don't know. Nico. This guy. Where is the Chaos list? Where's the Chaos list, Nico? Where are the Bretonnians? Instead, he brings High Elves, as someone else has announced to me. So this is true, that you will bring the High Elves. We see 4 times the Sword of Hope, 4 times the Lawmaster. This is interesting, with Battle Magic and Ring of Furies. This is cool, you know? This is cool. So we do have 8 Hammerhand, 9 Hammerhand. How many times can you bring Hammerhand into a list? Okay, so we have 9 Hammerhand in a Sisters of Avalon Brick, and all the Hammerhands have Strike First. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, against Magic Resistance, I'm not sure if it's that good. If someone has Magic Resistance too, or such, but yeah, we do have 3 Cavalry scoring units. This is a very fun list, I'd say. High Magic, yeah, okay. So even more defensive here. Lawmaster Cloak, this makes sense. Interesting. Maybe this is finally the way to make a Sister Star work, right? I will have a look on this one. Sadly, the list is not legal because it has 4 guys who share the same profile and unit entry, and under WTC rules this is not possible. So 130 points have to be reassigned, I guess, to a level 1 battle mage dude with the Ring of Fury. Should be very close. All right, so we have to get another list from Nico. Miyagi, what do you bring here? Let me check. Shugengans, 3. 2 of the big ones, Sword of Reason, Monkey King's Wisdom. Okay, 2 crane guns. Yeah, this is exactly what I expected new meta list to be. Morshard. Of this one I'm not so sure. On leadership, what do they have? 8? Without reroll, without anything. But he has both of them. Okay, nice. We do not have the superiority banner here. So maybe this unit here with 6 models just could be enough. And then 1 bigger unit with a superiority banner. But of course the points are very scarce, and you want to have the 2 Grand Cannons, you want to have the 2 Sky Lanterns. Great list. In Germancom you would still have to bring 660, so I guess there you bring the big Jade Lancer unit. Yeah. And sacrifice most likely this small Shugengan for that. Stormy, what do you do? Ooh, Empire. This is Grand Army again. This is fun. This is a classic Stormy Davy list. Level 4 Wizard Lord with a Necromancy. Tome of Midnight, Wizard's Familiar. So he casts with a +5. He dispels with a +3. Dispels with a +3. This all makes sense. Very cool to see 2 Priests of Sigma here, because you know the new update gives them +1 leadership, which could make them viable. They also have range on their one prayer where you get the rerolls. This means the Grandmaster here is Blazing Sun and has evasive. This is a nice trick, and I rate the Silverhorn very high on this single punchback character. I hate myself that I do not have the Silverhorn on my general. On the list I will take too little, but I will take the Arc Lightning Rod on him, so there's no spot for the Silverhorn. Very sad. And what we also see here is that the Grandmaster is actually on a DMCrew, not on a Pegasus, as we expected it maybe. This means he will most likely be around or within the Knights. And yeah, this is a big prick of Knights, right? Everything out of the Blazing Sun. Evasive could come in very handy here, especially with 3 units of archers, which can be all over the place and give them an opportunity to flee through with the fallback in good order. I mean, for shooting in opposition to charges, actually the guy who shoots most often decides from where the shooting comes. So you cannot use evasive that well as you could use a flee reaction here, but yeah, nevertheless, we have 1 engineer for 3 cannons. This is also very classic for his lists, and that's sufficient, I think. And also a steam tank. Love the steam tank here. Yeah, this type of list had a very rough time on WTC. I rate cannons a bit higher now, right at the moment, but it will be very interesting to see how it holds up against vampires and against beastmen in the meta. Ryan, what did you bring here? We do have Shugengans, Jade Lancers, Sky Lantern, and 2 Captains of the Empire. So the Stormy, not the Stormy, but the Storming list again. Yeah. Robin, yeah. Robin has Graveguard this time. He didn't only use the Crypt Guild as he did in WTC. 2 big units of SpiritHosts. This is also another thing. So Robin never ceases to amaze with these list ideas. Dark Magic, Necromancy, wonderful. Scepter of 2 Obsidian Lodestones on him. This is also quite interesting. So I guess he'll put them into the Crypt Guilds, most likely, so that they have magic resistance too. Yeah, okay. And Icon of Fortitude here, so he cannot be sniped with cannons. Very interesting choice, very defensive choices here. Also with the SpiritHost, I feel this list lacks a little bit of damage. It's very defensive, so the Graveguard has to do all the work. Very interesting to see how this works out. I mean, I can understand the Icon of Fortitude if you had the feel bad moment of losing the Hierophant here, the main Necromancer, to Cannonballs. All right. Then let's see the list of money. We do have 3 heralds, 2 tomb kings on foot, 2 level 1s, and yeah, 2 big cohorts. This is royal host, this is classic royal host. Looks good to me. Yep. So what do we have here? High Priest, Necro Bone Dragon level 3, Mortuary Priest level 1 Illusion, Emerald of the Serpent, a big unit of archers, Tomb King on Necro Bone Dragon. So all of this is pretty standard. I like the Skeleton Horse archers here, 2 Necro Sphinxes. So this is the Monster Mash list, and instead of the many chariots we do have the Skeleton Archer Brig, very similar to the list I played against the Italian tournament. And yeah, I had a really bad time against that list, so this is a classic list and a pretty good one. Interesting to see how it holds up in the meta. Goblins, 2 big bosses. This list is also illegal for casters from the same type. Big orc mob, this is pretty cool, and a lot of war machines. This is legal, this is not a problem, so we will have to take a pass here. Chaos, we see Chaos here. Warp Fire Dragon, Chaos Lord, a big unit of Forsaken, 8 Marauder Horsemen, Slithering Serpent. Interesting. This is, what is Slithering Serpent? Is this weapon skill? Another Fortitude, Banner of Rage, and Becalming Orb. Interesting choices here. Big unit of Forsaken is of course not bad, and the Exalted has a demonic mount, so he cannot join the Marauder Horseman and instead will be standalone. Rod of the Damned, he can shoot as well. I like this type of character, same as above. Interesting to see how this turns out. Yeah, someone pointed just out that Miyagi has 2019 points in his list. I guess he has to remove 1 Lancer. This cannot be because one of the items went more expensive, right? I will flag the list. Thank you for pointing out. And yeah, he has to check as well. What do we have here? We have Chaos Dwarves, some solid Chaos Dwarves, 2 Sorcerer Prophets on mounts, one's Lamassu, 3 times Blood of Hashut. Okay, this is wild. Sorcerer Exhalation, Lamassu, Demonology is sort of striking, Armor of Meteoric Iron. Someone is in fear of having a Banshee pin him down, seemingly. And another one, level 3 Demonology with Armor of Destiny. 2 Cutthroat Hobgoblin Bricks with Shortbow, this is fine. Finally, we see some dwarves. 24 Infernal Dwarf, only 1 Iron Demon, and some Sneaky Gits. Yeah, I mean, besides the Infernal Guard, which can be switched for another Iron Demon, that's pretty standard, but yeah, well, you need actually core, right? And this is a problem of WTC. I mean, I can't see why the list is built like that. We do not have access to Renegade pack there. We do not get a Renegade pack in the WTC. Reed brings Motri Cult, and yeah, it's a War Machine driven list with 2 Caskets and 2 Screaming Skull Catapults. That's fair game. 7 Shabdis, 4 Necro Serpents. This is a very mixed core here, right? Very mixed. A lot of core points, but personally, the Necro Serpents, they are great. They're not bad, but you can get 2 units of Skeleton Horse Archers for that. And I feel that this can be, for this type of list, more important. For the General, we do have a level 3 General Skull of Withering Elementalism, so we do not have a Necromancy caster here. And if you bring 2 Caskets and only 7 Ushabti, I think the Caskets are your main damage source besides the catapults. So you really need or want a Necromancy with that there. Alright. Gaspar, Empire. 2 Witch Hunters, 3 Engineers, General Löwenhacke, a big brick of State Troops, 3 Cannons, Steam Tank, and 2 × 10 Outriders. Yeah, I prefer having a wizard level 1 at least, but 2 times Suffer Not the Demon, and we saw a lot of ethereal with all the vampires, partly SpiritHost and all that. This makes sense. This actually makes sense in the current meta, like it seems. Good anticipation here to have both Outrider units shooting. I don't like that big prick. I mean, it's close to being unattackable by most stuff, but when the opponent closes in on him, so it's a very passive unit, you know? And with 3 great cannons, with a steam tank is not a more or less passive unit. I would have loved to see here Help Blasters. I think if you bring 3 engineers, which make the cannons pretty expensive, in this list I would have brought 2 more Help Blasters. If you bring Löwenhacker, you're kind of static, but yeah, we'll see how it works out. It's of course a legal list. First time for Jeff with the Wildthird. So actually we do see Wildthird list, and it's one that is very similar to the classic WTC build, I think. There is not 5 RP, so very similar here to the list that Boris and I are also playing. 46 scores, Monster Hunter's Tapestry, so a little bit more defensive. Vitriolic Totem, Pelt of Midnight is in. This is the trade-off. You don't get a Blood of the Shadowgave then, basically. Primal Magic, not with the Jack Dagger, but instead with the Tome of Spellcraft is also interesting. I feel it is too expensive. I do understand it if you want to push it into the Ungors. This is the reason why I played the 14 Ungors over the Dragon Ogre here. If you want to bring it back, then you need to bring some back up. Law Familiar Demology is quite normal. I don't see the Chalice here. So no Chalice and no Blood of the Shadowgave, which I feel, given the amount of casters we see, given the amount of cannons we see, are 2 of the main choices as of right now. Teco, yeah, similar list than the other ones. We do see here a Lord Magistrate with the Jade Armor, and the Morshot. Yeah, that's very good magic defense. So this is the reason as well why we see here the Iron Hell Guns and the Dragonfire Bombs. This guy wants to actively participate in the game with his magic items and shut down enemy casters. Makes sense. 2 cheap Shogun Guns. I think I would have taken a spellcasting, a big one rather, a Lord. But I mean, with a new nerf, right, to the Shogun Guns and to the buff, I can also imagine that just buffing 1 guy and having 2 more strikers can also be a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. 2 Grand Cannons as usual, and yeah, this one here, I think I would have played this one here with Grain Guns then. But yeah, it's a solid list, I guess. Very interesting to see how maybe one has to use Grain Guns right now and not the bombs sometimes. Okay, Acta, what do you bring? 3 can raise a Mortis engine on the general. This has a lot of downsides and a lot of upsides. So he will take the reserve move spell on this guy here, and that one is naked. I feel like level 4 on foot, I rate that a little bit higher. Tico looks like he's counting on stacking scrolls and learn. Let's check that again. Oh yes, yeah, I have to notify him. That's another thing I have to ask to him. I see. Yeah. Of course, he will get a ping as well. Same as the duty for the Bretonnia. I fully agree on that, Ryan. So back to Acta's list. 3 can Wraith. This is quite an ethereal package, and Lock did similar things on WTC. This can work surprisingly well when you flood the map with a lot of ethereal. But as we saw in the other adaptions, we also have a lot of magic shooting. So everyone adapted a fair bit towards the vampire counts. Everyone brings a lot of magic shooting, but I mean, the good thing is those are still characters, unlike the Doomseekers, and Games Workshop will not change them. 33 Graveguard is, for my taste, a little bit too big. It's a little bit too big, especially if you don't have the Battle Lust. Yeah, maybe 2x6 Hexwraith. That is pretty standard here as well. Denarius, also with the shit. You really brought 60 gores. Okay, also with Beastman, 306 points. Beastlord is an odd number. Let's check. Why is that 306? Because he bought the heavy armor as well as the full blade case armor. Why ever? Demology, 2 Demology, as I said, I feel if you want to be aggressive, this is very good. The Cornucopia of Corpulence. Awesome sight. This one triggers strength 3 hits, I think, to all models on base contact. And he mentioned that multiple times towards me, that he's a fan of that item. And I like it as well. It's a fun item. It looks like a fun item. And I'm very interested to see how's the kill tally of that one during the tournament. Level 3, oh, this is, now it becomes very aggressive. 3 times Demology, not a single Primal or Elementalist. Blood of the Shadow Gave, I do see it makes sense. Or you need it in this matchup. Hectory Fetish and Ruby Ring of Ruin. Yeah, this is the all go to the brick variant. 60 gores, he puts everything in the brick, he plays Phalanx again. BSB has a Beast banner. How have you so many points in characters to bring all the expensive items? I guess you cut a lot of other things. We do not see the Chalice, right? Chalice is not there. No -1 against shooting. Yep. Okay. 60 gores. Scourge of the Burdened, Vitriolic Totem, and Beast Banner. 2x5 Harpies. No Razor Gores. You don't have points if you bring 60 gores. But this brick, yeah, this brick will be very hard to kill. I expect them to be extremely wide, and so far we didn't see yet any unit that can charge them and kill actually the first fighting rank, because killing the first fighting rank is such a big nerf to these medium-sized gore bricks as the other guys, including me, play. If there goes in like a big Bretonnia Lance and some Pegasus Knights, even, yeah, I say it, Chosen Chaos Knights or Blood Knights, for example, things can become dangerous pretty fast. What? Slug Skin is on a journal. Okay, I just want to say, where's the Slug Skin is on the journal as well. Interesting choice here, because so far Daenerys was always suggesting to putting it onto the Wargore, which does not have any mutation. Yeah, interesting. We'll see how well the Phalanx style brick works in this tournament. Or what I don't like, what I absolutely don't like, is bringing 21 Primal Warherd, because if you do that, you cannot bring them in too wide as a marching column, because you're then too far when you go ambusher, and you have to go 3 wide. This loses a little bit of movement, but it's also very expensive because I get it, it's actually for combat. We have a Warbanner there, we have a champion, so that unit can actually challenge out the dragon or something like that and still win the combat. Okay, this makes sense. Besides, we didn't see... Oh, we saw some undead dragons here. Yeah, okay. Rommel Chalas, he brings High Elves. What do we see here? That is a Sister Star, supported by 2 big bricks of Lothern Sea Guard. 2 nobles there. Sword of Sorrow, Loremaster, Illusion, Loremaster, Battle Magic. Yeah, I'm gonna play Loremasters, huh? Reaver Bow, so we see a lot of shooting here. Everything is shooting. Horn of Isha on the Handmaiden, which is not general, but we take it for the horn, of course. A big unit of Sisters, Archmages with high magic to make it to make it ethereal, most likely. Elementalism for more defensive. Yeah, this is a all-in shooting list once again. About the core, it's also very defensive, yeah? So I can imagine that the list gets outmaneuvered pretty fast and then has to deliver via shooting with the Sisters. I don't think this list can do anything against Graveguard or something like that, but yeah, we'll see. Grimgoas, the Spanish Bretonnia player from WTC, this time with actually Auce. We have a Y1, we have another Y1, we have level 3 Oddnob Idol of Gork and Ruby Ring for War Magic. Interesting choice again with more magic. I expected maybe something else. Maybe I have to check again what War Magic actually does, to be honest. I had some buffs in mind, but is there a really good spell you don't want to miss out? Evil Sun Shining or something like that? I don't know, but no big Night Goblin mobs here. Itchy Nisance is the signature spell. Yeah, but what's the alternative, right? Maybe Illusion. I rate Illusion pretty high on the Night Goblins. 3 Night Goblin big bosses just so we can bring 4 units of Fanatics. Yeah, pretty dry-cut list. It's a good list, no question. Another orc list. This one is more War Machine driven. Yeah, Charlie, this event is online. It's an online event that takes place on the Elder Tree server as well, starting tomorrow. 14 Black Orc mobs, medium-sized unit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a brick of 20 or 25 can do some stuff. At least I saw it a few times on the table. But only 14 seems like a little bit of an odd choice. They're not that aggressive. Only 2 great weapons in there. Classic Fanatic package, another black unit. So we do have 2 Black Orcs. Exactly. BSB. Yeah, so fun defensive list here. Nothing too maximized, but looks good. Just let me check one thing about the characters. Yep, this works. Alrighty, Eric brings demons without the Renegade pack. Let's see, 2 Demon Princes, a Bloodthirster, Bloodletters of Khorne, Furies, Fleshhounds of Khorne, Blood Crushers of Khorne, Soulgrinder Demon of Slaanesh. I just hope this list is legal with the 2 Demon Princes. I have no clue, 0 clue at all with demons without Renegade pack. But yeah, looks like a fun demon list. And I heard Bloodletters right now are quite fearsome. A lot of people losing games against Bloodthirsters. What does Nate bring? Nate brings the Vampires again. It's no Renegade, it's no German Comp, so no Skaven here, I guess. Master Necromancer on a Mortis engine. Dark Magic Lore Familiar. This is solid. General not on the Mortis. And with Ethereal. So this is super classic solid build. The Withered level 1 with Illusion. No Hand of Dust. This allows us to buy the Cloak of Mist and Shadows. 2 Tomb Banshees. 1 Center Tapestry and a White Lord. Classic. 2 units of Hexwraith. Yup. Perfect. Then we do have some more orcs. 3 orc combat characters, 2 orc weird boys, Tome of Spellcrafts and Busglob's Gnobly Stav on Warboars. I like that. We do have a boar star here. Big raggedy flag. Where is the glowing green? I don't see a glowy green amulet. If you bring such a big unit, always make sure to bring a glowy green. But I just see there are even more boy mobs because it's a nomadic war. Nice. This is MSU. Interesting to see how this one plays out. MSU Riders. Thinking Orcs head on 6 guys here. This means the other 2 are indeed impetus. Yeah. More high elves, more bricks. 2 big bricks of white lines. 2 archmages, illusion and high magic, which makes sense if you want to support infantry bricks. Chieftain as a BSB, Banner of Resilience. I always feel like this guy here is too expensive. The Banner of Resilience is somewhat too expensive. If you need the toughness as elves, you most likely already have lost. At least that's my experience. Better take this Swirling Banner against BS shooting. And against the rest, I don't know. But yeah. Coral is cool. Not on his chariot, on foot. So we will have a big brick here. It's another high of list with just 3 bricks. Interesting to see how they will perform. Peter brings Swordmasters as usual. Again, 2 big bricks, and we do have again 2 Archmages and the Handmaidens. Interesting sight. I think all the high-offs I saw yet in this one here tried to bring Sister Star, or tried to bring Shooting Sister Star. So this is like the ultimate test for Sister Star. I always made some jokes about it because it's a bit of a passive list and it's also quite squishy at the same time. But I mean, now we have even more tools for defense, right? We see a lot of these defensive tools, and yeah, we'll see how it works out. I mean, Sister per se is a super good unit, but I feel you lose too much from playing them in a brick and you pay so many points into them. The good thing about Sisters, how I see it, is that they're a splendid standalone unit. They have wonderful point efficiency. And if you start slapping these 500 points, 600, 800 points of characters into them, you do not improve their output that much. So basically, what you do is you spam them, you bring very much of them, so you can benefit from their output. But then you need a lot of points to actually defend them, and I'm not sure if that is the conceptual right way, you know. Okay, Exiles, once more Exiles. Baron, 2 Outcast Wizards, level 2 with Battle Magic, just at random. Okay, I will take a Damsel here most likely, except we have a special plan, I don't know. Demagogy, Tom Spellcraft, no lore familiar here, and Demagogy is... it's tough, it's very tough. This guy is pretty normal, I'd say. I love the Charm Shield here. We don't have Charm Shield or Normal Shield. Virtue of Purity. What does the Virtue of Purity do? Purity. There it is. Nice. Nice. Okay, yeah. If you have the points for that and you have no other use, why not? Especially on a Hippogriff. I can see that. But I would have... If you build a Hippogriff, I feel you have to go defensive on that one. But here's the Ogre Blade. I mean, he has the 5 awards, right? At least that is the thing. Mounted Knights of the Realm. No antlers here. A lot of peasants and infantry. Okay, this is a fun side actually with burning. If you bring burning braziers, there are stakes, huh? Where are the stakes? Only 3 Pegasus Knights and 3 War Machines. I played a somewhat similar list in the second German comp. Of course, I split the Peasant Bowman. I had more units of Peasant Bowman shooting. I had 1 break of Yeoman Guard with a Demology guy and a Damsel. I think I played some medium-sized Foot Knights and a Pally with the Falconhorn, and that worked pretty well. So yeah, the list is not optimized, but the core concept is of course valid. Yeah, Peter's list is fun. I mean, Charlie just talking about it. The Swordmasters are great. I think I didn't change the rules for them in German comp. So basically, this is a list that is very similar to German comp actually. The only difference is, of course, he only has leadership 8 in this list. So I don't like that much. Swordmasters are cool, but at the end of the day, there are still adds. I mean, he has a Sacred Incense there, so he gets, I think, a 6 award save and a -1 against shooting. Yeah, it's of course a double-edged blade. Yeah, sorry. But I feel it lacks a little bit mobility, and of course, this is one of the problems of the WTC tournament, where you are limited to the strictest category. And I think when we look at the competitive play right now, I would like to see the least strict category a unit is in to allow it like that, even if it's like the 0 to 1 in core allows for additional 3 in rare or something like this, if this is a thing. But yeah, we don't have that yet. I checked the Apex pack. It looks quite promising, and I think I will adapt that one for the WTC tournament in the future, for the WTC tournament style tournaments on LD3 in the future, but of course including the stricter category limit over the army book limit, so no 6 cannons and stuff like that. So Frontier X has a lot to answer for. How do you mean that exactly? Do you mean it actually answers a lot? Because I mean, yeah, it's a super solid weapon. It's wonderful. And about all the Exiles comebacks, yeah. I don't know. I just thought today that Grand Army actually has some nice perks. Like you can bring 6 to 7 Pegasus Knights still. You can have a Duke, including Totem of Wrath on the Pegasus and the Cackling Blade. You can bring Magic Resistance 2 on a Paladin. You have the Lady. So you also have a lot of stuff there. I don't know how much Null we really see in the future, or how much ballistic skill shooting we still have. So I think Exiles will also depend a lot on that. Like how much shooting is there. If there's too much shooting, then Exiles fall flat. But if there's not that much shooting, they're quite capable. And you can bring a lot of skirmish hunter lists with Bretonnia, with immune to multiple wound characters and stuff like that, which then once again boost Bretonnia, of course. Green Knight is good, so yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about Null, right? Especially when you can face Cathay. I mean, it's not that much of a problem against other lists, but as long as Cathay is in there, and they will just shoot you to rubble if you don't have the first turn against them. So I do see the point of using Löwenhacke and reducing drops, but I don't know. I feel this list then on the other hand lacks power in the general meta. So for singles, I don't rate Null that high currently. I mean, yes, you can go on evasion and all that, but if it works, I don't know. Wood Elves, top command with Wood Elves, Glade Lord, kinda classic, so double save, Challenger build, Spellweaver on a Warhawk. Warhawk is damn cool. Battle Magic, Hardwood Pendant. This is the, what is that? Is that a what save? Come on, surely somewhere some Wood Elves, huh? No. What is the Hardwood Pendant? Ah, it's the Lore of the Wilds. He will use the Lore of the Wilds. Reroll natural 6s against shooting. Yeah, sure. We can check out Nate's list again. 1 second. This is Nate's list. He plays a pretty classic vampire list, I'd say. The 4-3-1 split with 26 Graveguard and 2 units of Hexwraith. Ethereal General, immune to cannons. That's a good thing, I guess. And yeah, pretty solid. Alright, the Wood Elves, 2 times 10 Glade Guard for scoring, I guess. Glade Riders for scoring. I love to see big units of Glade Riders. Sadly, they didn't go down 2 points, just 1. Like, 1 big unit of Glade Riders with Swift Shiver Shards, the banner on the unit's standard bearer and on the captain to mimic the True Flight arrows, and then having magic attacks on them. In addition, another big unit with True Flight arrows and an illusion caster in there, maybe Swirling Mind banner. I can imagine with the reserve move on these both units, and in addition to smaller units with ambushes, where you actually try to push down your unit count, that could be very nice. But I mean, the Wild Riders are at the moment also sadly not that viable. So this is more fun-driven list, but yeah, I feel that the update didn't do enough for the what else. I mean, there are some units which are just bad by design, right? Like the Wild Riders, like maybe some of the infantry, the combat infantry. So you have to give them something else. And I do not understand why we didn't see a rollback on the Sisters of Thorn. Why did they get reduced by points? Why don't you just roll back the FHQ, honestly? With the pillar fixed. But yeah, whatever. What does Teresia bring? Also 7 points over. I don't know why. Maybe there's something going on. Miyagi 19 over. Here we have 7 points over. Have to check. 2 Jade Lancers. Alrighty. 10 Jade Warriors. With the icon of Heavily Fury. Yeah, okay, I guess you can do that. 2 cannons. 1 cannon without loader. Interesting. I guess because you cannot bring another Sky Lantern then. Crane guns and lantern bombs. Here we do have the Iron Hair guns, Burning Blade, Armor of Meteoric, Alchemist Mask, Talisman of Protection. So this guy is quite supportive. He's not like the magic shutdown guy. He's also not the most offensive build. Well, yeah, Alchemist Mask, but he doesn't have a shooting thing. The Big Shook, Monkey King's Wisdom, and a level 1 Shugengan General for support. Yeah. I think, thank you Ryan for doing that, for pinging him already. List is solid. List is solid. It has nothing in it which I think, oh, nice touch, but it's super solid. But it has no more shot, right? I feel right now, if you want to win with Cathay against Beastlord, to tweak the matchup, you need the more shot. Same way as the Beastlords, the Beastmen most likely can make good use of the Blood of the Shadow Gave against vampires or against Jugengans as well. So I feel like these items are a little bit mandatory right now. Even if it went up to 50 points, it still just disables Mortis List, it disables Beastmen. So that's such a big thing to use. Yeah. Another Cathay list, so we see a lot of Cathay. I didn't count, sadly. I thought before the video maybe I should count all that. And yeah, let's see. This list is illegal because we have 4 times the same character. Unit entry. 3 Shugengans, so the idea is to overwhelm your opponent by numbers. If you do this, I would still bring 2 captains. But okay, 2 Skylanterns, Grain Guns, pretty normal. 2 Grand Cannons, pretty normal. A Jade Banner on the Jade Warriors, so Big Brick should go forward in support. I see we do have here Battle Magic with, okay, maybe Arcane Urgency, but I think Illusion is better there. Alrighty. What else do we have? More Bretonnia Exiles. Green Knight, Damsel, level 1, Flames, yeah, perfect. Striker, Warhorse, level 3, Dark Magic, Power Scroll, Law Familiar. Can play that, I guess, especially if you are not infantry based. What we see here, yeah, makes sense. Paladin, Falconhorn, nothing else, Dry Cut. And the Baron, Temper, Frontier X, Meteoric Iron is interesting. We do not see that often, no? But yeah, it's okay. I guess it's okay. Green is also good. Endless are there. Monstrous Tapestry is a thing I thought about on the Mounted Knights of the Realm. Makes sense to me. 6 Mounted Yeomen for the reserve move. 2 times 10 Peasant Bowmen. 5 Knights with the Totem of Ras. 2 Border Princess Bombard. Yep, wonderful. I think this list is legit and doesn't miss anything. There's also nothing which is out of the box, except maybe for the big unit Knights of the Realm, where you could also bring a small unit of Foot Knights. But if you want, I had to talk this day with the Team Belgium chat, where I said, like, I think that Bretonnia, if done right, can kill Beastmen, but you need to bring a big lance and use the new fighting rank rules that you can kill off the first rank of the fighting rank. And to be able to do that, you need to support that lance, or you need to get in with the Pegasus Knight, the Cackling Blade, and the Totem of Wrath, or something like that. And I can actually see this list maybe achieving that. I mean, the support choice is also a bit limited, right? I think instead of the Damsel, if you want to bring a full Bunker Breaker, instead of the Damsel, you need to bring more stuff on the Pally. Maybe let the Pally fly and bring Errantry Banner or something like that. So the Damsel is a bit more of a defensive, evasion, shooting thing. So the only thing I see in this list, which I do not like extremely well, is the combination of the Mounted Knights of the Realm, which are like for a striker list, and the Damsel in this configuration, which is more like evasion. I mean, you can bring the Damsel inside of the unit as well for the base spell, or you can bring a Demonology Outcast Wizard to buff the Mounted Knights, but we see a lot of evasion, a lot of striking, and maybe this list, we're talking about a very high level of list building here, a very high level of complaining, is that it isn't maxed out into one of the two paths. Oh, I did, right? Thank you. But it's legal and it's a nice list. Yeah, Charlie, about that list, I felt the same, but the same list was discussed for the next tournament where he will go in real life next week, and I think it was a deliberate choice. It wasn't. I don't understand it either fully, because I think if you go double casket, if you take the Skulls of Foes, then you need Necromancy. That's your main damage output on the list, right? If you want Elementalism, take the 20 Ushabti with you. Don't take the casket, and one casket, of course, but don't take double casket, double catapult. And if you do a mixed approach list, then I would take like Necromancy and Illusion and not Elementalism, and just use the Scroll of Withering instead of the Black of Frost for the important turn. So yeah, I don't understand all the lores that were picked for all the lists. Sometimes they feel indeed a little bit odd. What do we have here? Errantry Crusade, Green Knight, a Duke, Potion of Fervor, Heroism, once again, this build here. A lot of attacks, Paymaster Coin. Paymaster Coin makes sense with Potion of Fervor and Mirror of Heroism, but the only thing you can kill with that, I think, are Shogengans, right? Not a single monster in sight besides that. Did we see a Necrosphinx even? Ah, yes, the one list from Tani. That one brings monsters. We haven't seen a single Chaos monster list. It feels like we only saw Orcs, Vampires, Cathay, Beastmen, Bretonnia, and Camry, right? Here and there, Wood Elf list. One Wood Elf list we saw, one Chaos Dwarf list we saw. So it's the same. Yeah, it's a little bit sloggy. The same as before the update, a little bit tweaks here and there. But yeah, okay. Paladin, Lance, Shield, Crusader Wolf, Banner of Swirling Mind. I don't think we saw that much null either. I think 2 or 3 null lists from 48 people. So, yeah. The Prophetess, nice. Illusion, Meteor Hammer, Lore Familiar. This is cool, but 25 points for +2 to cast is surely important here, which you can't do because this is 80 points already. So I would take at least a Power Scroll there. Sacrifice something else, most likely the banner. Battle Pilgrims, they are so cheap now, and I would not take the Grail Relic necessarily there. I think they just become unbreakable with it, right? Without, they're not. It's cool they dropped that to 6 points. Now they only need to let the Grail Relic give the blessing to the whole unit, and then I will actually play the fuck out of that unit. Big errands with Tapestry. Musician is missing, I guess. No points here. Cutted that instead of one Pilgrim. Paladin goes in there. Prophetess goes in there. Now I have to check one thing, what the profit is. This is Exiles, somewhere else. Where is the Night Kingdom? Yeah, she only has a warhorse there. She does not have the Bretonnian warhorse, which I also do not exactly understand. I guess it was points. Let me see that. How many points is that? In the character sequence. 20 points left. 20 points left, and we need to see the upgrade here, nor the power scroll. That is a bit sad. But yeah, this one here, I think Pegasus Knights is Totem of Wrath. We saw that in every single Bretonnia list. Alright, and Alexi is back from business. He took a long break, and now he's back with Cathay. Very expensive Sky Lantern with ambushers here, which comes to my eye first sight. Iron Hellguns, Dragonfire Bombs. Okay, I mean, if it ambushes, it makes sense, right? Jade Warriors, just rather cheap scorers. Okay. I mean, the thing is, Cathay is so fast and puts out so much pressure that sadly no one needs to use the detachment ability of the Jade Warriors, right? 2x7 Jade Lancers, Ruby Ring and Ring of Jet, makes sense. Skull of Agent, Monkey, King's Wisdom Illusion guy, okay. 2 level 1 Shogengans with Battle Magic. I guess he wants to pick Hammerhand, if not randoming like Arcane Urgency, or Fireball. And the Lord Magistrate with, yeah, once again, Jade, Armor of Beishai, and Morshot. I think this is very similar to the list we saw first on, who did bring it? Isaac, maybe? No? Or did he brought the, yeah, he brought the same or a similar Lord Magistrate. Okay, cool. That's it. So I have to ping a few people. We will, as always, change the lists in the smallest way possible. The live stream will not be visible for the next few hours or days. I want to try some editing here to actually hide the mail lists. And yeah, if someone else wants to join up so they don't get an unfair advantage for now. But sure, the list will be published anyway. So yeah, I hope you liked the insight into the lists. We saw very standard vampire lists. Not much is new. The Tome of Spellcraft saw adaptation. We saw also a few generals with cloak, which makes sense, I feel. Mortis was here and there, general, non-general, ups and downs for that choice. And Beastman, some variations. We saw a lot of Beast banner and Vitriolic combos. Not so many Monster Hunters tapestries, but yeah, how many lists can stomp in this format? How many lists are there that actually are gonna stomp you? I think out of 47 you can count them on one hand, so that is a little bit crazy. How bad the players rate monsters, and the call to not bring the Monster Hunters tapestry seemed to be right, at least in this kind of maximized meta here. We saw 2 different Cathay builds. We have some variation here, or 2 different archetypes and a lot of different builds, and I like that. I like that you see with Cathay some variation. The question is how good it still is, or how much too good it still is, maybe. I have no clue. I have 0 clue. I feel like 2 Shogengans, 2 cannons, and Morshot, maybe Morshot on a well-protected lantern is right now the way to go, and is super strong. Of course, you can bring the captains in and go more aggressively, but I don't know if that list holds up. I mean, this is a list that can stomp a little bit from the captains because it's only the small one, right? Against Gorse is good enough, but I feel if they could ride an Imperial Griffin for the same points, then we would be talking. However, I think that list is way more fun to play than shooting list, so I'm glad that Isaac and Ryan brought it. Yeah, if you have anything to add, feel free to do it on the Elder Tree server and the commentary section about this tournament, or here on YouTube. Alrighty, then after we have fixed those lists, or for the people that are not hit by that, let the games begin, and see you soon, guys. Good night, bye bye.
LD3. Der Deutsche, the Old World Patriot.